Okay, welcome to House Human Services, folks. This is going to be brief, and then you can, go for your lunch break. But I wanted to update you on the conference committee report from H660, the opioid settlement bill. And we did agree on a unanimous vote of 6-0 on the conference committee. And I can look at the Senate calendar, but it's got to be on the Senate calendar by now. It wasn't yesterday, but we signed on it on Tuesday. So right? Was it Tuesday? What's today? Thursday, Wednesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday.
It's up.
It's on today. Okay, so it may be coming over to us today. Who knows? So essentially, it was a combination of things that we wanted originally. So the 4 items, you remember that we had in our committee that went to the went to the Substance Misuse Prevention Fund. And then it was changed in the House Appropriations Committee to come back to the opioid fund. Well, the Senate put it back in the Substance Misuse Prevention Fund because I think, as you heard earlier, when I gave updates on what was happening with the bill, the health department found, that they do have some money in that fund that they could use. So that is going the way that we wanted it to. And there is an updated spreadsheet on our website. Is that for yesterday or today, Laura? Yesterday. If you look on yesterday's, you'll see, and you can tell how it's different because you see that nice red little circle there.
Yeah.
That's the most up-to-date one. And it's dated 5/21. So in terms of the money, the outreach and engagement for preferred providers stayed the same. That was the same as ours. Thanks, Dan. Hi. That's okay. We just started.
No, there's my phone.
Oh.
It came up on my iPad.
Oh, okay. The recovery residents, ongoing operations, 1.6 million. That was agreed to as we had. The syringe service programs, that was agreed to. The peer recovery services, that was agreed to. Emergency shelter, substance use services and emergency shelters, that was agreed to. The recovery centers, we did not have in the House version. And the Senate put in 800,000 for recovery centers. And the conference committee said 500,000. So we reduced that amount, and you see why in a moment. The recovery employment program. So this is specialized vocational rehabilitation services for people with opioid use disorder, and that was not in our version of 660. The Senate put it in their version. The reason it was not in our version is because the administration had included it in their base budget. The Senate took it out of the base budget and put it into the opioid fund because they had another idea about how to use that 875,000. But there is legislative intent language that says it would be funded by the legislature in base funding next year. So that was a change from what we had. The Senate had put in $1.1 million for the overdose prevention center. We had asked for that to be taken out, and the conference committee agreed that that is being taken out. So there is language, however, in there. But it is not in the dollar amount is not being appropriated. They have, as we heard in testimony here, they have funding all the way through FY27. There was really no need to appropriate funding in FY27. So there was a lot of discussion, and really the only thing that had sort of this major discussion point was around, we had $900,000 for recovery beds at certification of 3 or above. And then we had 300,000 for additional recovery for VTAR for establishing new recovery residences in Brattleboro, Addison County, Randolph, Chester, St. Albans areas. So it was a total of $1.2 million. So Senate had 600,000 for the recovery bed, so they had reduced ours by 300,000. And then they added 600,000 for residential treatment beds. So that's like at Valley Vista or at I can't remember what his organization's called, but Chad Vijay's organization down in Rutland. So they wanted, and that's for level 3.1 or above treatment. So there's difference between recovery and treatment. Treatment being medically supervised, recovery being peer supervised essentially. So we agreed, and the health department, as they were when they came to us, they were looking for flexibility about how to utilize this 1.2 million because of the Rural Health Transformation Grant. So in the Rural Health Transformation Grant, there is money for operations of recovery beds. However, sort of the nuts and bolts and the buildings, if you will, and renovations and stuff like that cannot be covered with that Rural Health Transformation Grant. So that's what they wanted the bulk of this money for. So they wanted some flexibility. We wanted to ensure that underserved areas or unserved areas still got attention. So we agreed upon language that it has the whole of the 1.2. So it just has $1 amount. It's the same dollar total, but it's just 1.2. And then we agreed upon language that says it would be used for both recovery beds and residential treatment. So that is what was agreed to there. And then I talked about all of those already. And then the Elevate Youth Services, Greater Falls Connections, Friends of Change, and Winooski Partnerships, those all went to the Substance Misuse Prevention Fund. So with the total, we believe, based upon the current balance in the fund that was updated in February, minus what we appropriated in this bill, which is 6.185, that there will still be a balance of $5,691,000 left in the opioid settlement fund. So, so that's the update. I wanted, since it was our committee's bill, I didn't want you to just hear that all on the floor when I give the floor report on it. Hopefully that'll come over today. If not, it'll be on Tuesday if they take action on it. And just a reminder for people who maybe haven't, as you've seen on the floor, conference committee reports are debatable, but they are not amendable. So you either get to vote yes or no on that. So, we had some compromises, but I think that the bulk of what we were looking for, which was those 4 programs to get funded under the Substance Misuse Prevention Fund, and to recognize that the Overdose Prevention Center did not need funding in this fiscal year. And we gave on the $875,000 for the voc rehab, the special positions for voc rehab. So that's it on 660. Anybody have any questions about that? And you'll be able to see, you can go on the Senate calendar if you want to read the report itself. You can go on the Senate calendar. It'll be posted on our calendar probably, whenever we get it. Okay. And then an update, which might not be the most current update because I saw Chair Lalonde looking in the window a few minutes ago. So on S-193, the forensic facility bill, as you know, I gave testimony on the amendment downstairs that many members of our committee signed on to. And then there has been some concern by some members of the House Judiciary Committee that there needed to be a temporary provision of services until this forensic facility materialized, which would take, 2 to 3 years to have that happen. And so there is an amendment that's being considered right now in Judiciary, and it was presented to the House Institutions Committee as well. So during the temporary time, which essentially would be from the passage of the bill to 2029. So essentially a 3-year period of time. The Department of Corrections would run a forensic facility within the correctional system. And they would, and if people were discharged, the Department of Corrections would be involved in their supervision at the local level. And I'm going to avoid any editorial comments. That's just the facts. You can go on their website and you can read the amendment is essentially a 25-page amendment because it repeats much of the underlying bill, a previous version of the underlying bill. I am understanding, at least at the current time, that they will be voting on the amendment that I presented yesterday. But that amendment has not been incorporated as of right now into the amendment that is being offered by members of the Judiciary Committee. So I just giving you an update. I suspect that it's in the process of changing. I just don't know what the outcome will be. So I just wanted you to know what was happening since we spent a lot of time taking testimony on that. Yes, go ahead.
So this latest version of the amendment, since it addresses sort of an interim period, in theory, that would not take into account the language that we all worked on.
As of the last that I knew, that is correct.
Yeah, which is really, I don't know.
A problem.
I assume, yes, because we worked really hard on that and it required collaboration of like 4 different committees. And so to disregard all that work and consensus building, that's really hard to see that just be true. But anyway, so thank you for that clarification.
So I
And
understand.
like I said, things could be changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it might be unlikely that we vote on this bill today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Go ahead, Son.
Well, I guess my question is not what do you think might happen? That's not the issue, but
Yeah.
I guess I don't really understand what could happen. What are the possible outcomes?
Oh, there are too many to
Okay,
list.
all right, then just wait.
honestly.
Good.
It's very unpredictable status right now. I can tell you that Corrections and Institutions was not happy with the amendment either.
All right,
I was, I will say personally, so we had a meeting of the chairs of the committees yesterday. And I will say that I conveyed to Chair Lalonde that I understand the desire and the need to have a temporary service of some sort, that restored competency. But I honestly wasn't expecting what I saw this morning. And Chair Emmons and I both said we need to see the language before we just kind of
Yeah.
So, yeah. And like I said, I don't know what's going to happen between now and whenever it's voted on the floor. And like I said, I noticed Chair Lalonde at the window, so I suspect there is something that he wants to update me on. I don't know what that is. So just keep watch of it. I think honestly, I'm not seeing anything else on our calendar. We are going to forego the Dale update because I just have you read the stuff that they submitted. They did submit their report and their update to us. And I will say, I think that they are trying to address concerns. I will say that there are a lot of concerns that still exist in the Dale world and among providers, the designated and specialized service agencies. And on budget stuff, a lot of things going back and forth on budget right now. They are hoping to be able to finalize the budget by this afternoon at some point. I think you all know we're coming back next week. I don't know what the schedule is going to be. Hopefully it's just like a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and But I think this will be sort of the last kind of official meeting of our committee. I don't think that we'll need to meet unless, something dramatic happens with 193. Certainly want to update folks. Anybody have any questions or updates on 660 is the last thing of ours to cross the finish line, and that we should be able to do that. Hopefully they'll send it over this afternoon if they vote on it this morning, and if not, we'll see it on Tuesday.
So to be clear, on 660, the 1 point whatever is out for the entire.
Out. Yes. It is out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sure you were.
I did. I was representing the thoughts of our committee. So,
Thank
we did good work this year. We did really good work. And so I appreciate y'all, and
It's pretty.
we'll see you on the floor and around the building, and enjoy some sunshine out there.